explain to me in really simple terms, what's the difference here? What's the difference between my normal use of, I don't know, OpenAI or Claude and a chat experience versus what we're talking about here in now called OpenClaw? What's the easy version to sort of understand?
I think it's more that you've given, like, basically the way people are using this is you've given this agent its own computer effectively, and you've given it access to most of the tools you need to do useful work on a computer, right? Email, WhatsApp in many cases, all sorts of tools that people could communicate. And then given it a broad set of instructions, and it is just trying to make your life more helpful. It's like an early Jarvis, right? It's like baby Jarvis.
So we're not we're
And
not we're not taking turns like I might in a chat
yeah.
GPT or something. It sort of has a mission. It
Yeah,
has
and
a
you could
set of
send it a
goals.
message. You could send it a WhatsApp, message, or a Slack message, or whatever you connected, and just say, "Hey, can you schedule this thing for me?" And so which you can kind of do with some of these emerging tools, but I think it's just much more set up to interact with the way you would interact with a remote assistant.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think part of it is that it's listening for you so that you don't have to tell it everything. It's watching the social channels that you've given it access to. So when it sees something come across, it reads all of the things and says, this is something I should take action on based on the directives that it was given. It will then go and see if it has the tools to take that action. So in a different tool, I've set up something like that in ClickUp with their super agents, so that if I add something to a list called ideas for writing ideas, it will go check to see if somebody has already written about that topic for me. So I don't have to go do that lookup. And then it'll come back and let me know, like, yeah, don't bother writing about this. There's plenty out there. Or it'll say, no, like there's a gap there. Maybe it's worth pursuing.
To me, that's the potential immediate intersection in the enterprise space because I mean, you mentioned that Stu, you mentioned Jarvis. We all sort of continue to think about, or not all of us, but many people in the public domain continue to think about sort of the Jarvis agent that can sort of do it all and has sort of a broad-based purpose set. And I think then we see some of the other things that are coming out here, some of the concerns over sort of the secure, the issues around security and the issues around what actions are taken and the issues around sort of what the agents are really doing. And that messaging to someone who's not living in AI every day is unsettling to the business community to think about agents doing work in their domain. But when you take the example that Shanti just described, which is, hey, we can set it up to proactively do work, but if we narrow it and keep it tight, and the narrow use cases continue to be where the enterprises are having success, tightly defining the work that needs to be done, tightly defining the constraints and the ability to evaluate the results and who owns the results. That's where the success is. To me, this is a step forward in terms of what you could do at the enterprise level, but it creates a lot of concerns when we start talking about the Jarvis model or sort of the do-it-all agent. That's unsettling to people who are looking at this, asking the question of how can I use this in the enterprise? This is really cool and fun for the 36,000 people who've signed their agent up to go and sort of chat with other agents, but we're already seeing sort of crazy security issues emerging, injections and bad actors are introducing sort of bad tools that could be used by the agents. It's sort of counterproductive in terms of where we want to take the enterprise in terms of doing valuable work.